Ah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. It's your guy, DLG Reppin, yeah? I'm outside on this clear blue sky, beautiful day. And obviously I'm here to talk about more football. That's why I'm doing this. But I don't need to tell you that all the time. You should know who I am by now, yeah? The Arsenal football fan. So, hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday and weekend combined, yeah? Because I know I am. And as far as football's concerned, or all sport, it's locked down. So I'm going to start off by talking about a few things that's happened of recently. And something that I want to do, and that's in the Premier League all-time 11. You guys might have your all-time 11, then you drop it in the comment section below. Drive the thumbs up like button, and if you can, yeah, please do subscribe, yeah. I've had to look at my notes, you know, written down what I want to talk about. So let me start off with Arsenal. And the news came in, or some form of gossip came in, that Pablo Mari has stated that he wants to sign for Arsenal on a permanent basis. Now, I like the guy, but I would like to see Upper Marcano at the club next season. But it's touch and go. The transfer window is not going to be as explosive as it has been, blown out of the water in the recent years because of this coronavirus situation. And let's be honest, well, the way I see it now, I'm outside and I'll tell you what, I see selfish people all over, well, anywhere you look, left, right and centre. People ignoring the guidelines and not doing the things to save lives, save their own lives, and protect the NHS. So, yeah. Overall, if this country stays on lockdown, then football will stay on lockdown. Let's be real. And as I'm doing this video, I'm hoping I don't get no interruptions. So, without that further ado, let's go on to Arsenal's Pablo Mari. As I started off, he says that he wants to sign for the club permanently. I think Arteta likes him. And my impression is that he may want to sign them as well. He does want to sign defenders, that's for sure. You know? And I hope he does sign. I hope he does sign a centre half. I would love to have Upper Marcano, and I think it's on. Well, I think it's quietly on, but I think Thomas Partey is more realistically on than they are Upper Marcano. But guys, leave your comments below. Drive the thumbs up like button, and before I go on about subscriptions, yeah. Someone subscribed to my channel yesterday, and it's someone I know, but I'm not gonna shout out his name, but he knows who he is, yeah. I'll give you a clue. He represents Hackney, and that's as far as it's gonna go, yeah. But you don't need to know who he is, yeah. So I say to him in person, yeah. Thanks for the subscription, and tune into my channels as always, yeah. You know who I am, DLG Reppin. Obviously, you even know my real name. Can't even speak right now. So that's Pablo Mari talked about. There's other signings as well. There's a midfield that we need to look at, and Thomas Partey will be a key figure in the midfield. That's a signing that I would like to see personally, and I would like to see a number 10. I mean, there's talk of Fekir. I mean, I've mentioned these names. I mean, Thomas Partey, for example, he's an upgrade on what we need. He's definitely an upgrade on what we need and what we have at the club. And for me, I hope the board doesn't hesitate in getting this deal done. Although his father's come out and said that he has spoken to his son about Arsenal, and stating, or his son stating, that it's true. Arsenal are linked to him. You know, that's that's positive hope in there, you know. And I know Arsenal want to do something in a summer transfer window. Again, when football or all sports will resume, it depends on, well, not in this country, but idiots around the world, you know. If they're going to listen to the guidelines, they're going to stop being selfish and stop thinking about themselves. I know it's hard, yeah. But, you know, I'm not even going to go into any details because I might upset a few people because the truth hurts in life. So, yeah, without further ado, yes, Arsenal are linked to every player left, right and centre. But then again, a number of clubs are going to be linked to players at every left, right and centre. But I don't see how close the deal is going to be done. I mean, Tottenham have been rumoured to wanted to sell Ndombele to Barcelona and get Semedo and another player coming the other way. Oh, Titi and Semedo coming the other way. Oh, I'll tell you what, we can do a right back there. Semedo is worth a shout. If we can't get him, I'll take Max Aarons. Not because he's English, but his abilities as a right back, the things that you are looking for in his abilities as a right back, such as defensive cover, defensive awareness, offensiveness, where to run into space, where to attack the spaces. You know, these are the sort of things that you're looking for in a right back. So yeah, it'll be ideally what I'm looking for. Another player that I would like to see at the Emirates, well, I would like to see possibly another striker, but I don't know who exactly I'm looking at. But I mean, I've spoken highly about Jonathan David. I mean, there's Osman Edouard. He sounds like a shout out, you know, amongst being linked with other centre-halves. So I mean, when you look at it, yeah, we have 8 centre-halves at our club, and if Arteta can get the best out of someone like Mustafi, what's wrong with trying to get the best out of Konstantinos Mavropanos? You know, I mean, he's got his 8 defenders, but he will have to sell 3, at least 3. And he did say that 9 players will be leaving us at the end of this season. Well, he aims to get rid of 9 players at the end of this season. If the season is to go ahead and continue, or if the FA have to decide to nullify and void the season. So that's the two that he could. That's the two scenarios that it could come down to. But guys, what do you think? Again, drop your comments below, yeah? And drive the thumbs up like button more than the thumbs down. And yes, I'm going to say it again. Please do subscribe to my channel, yeah? DLG Reppin. And moving on as it is a footballing discussion, Phil Neville is due at any moment, yeah? I think it was said yesterday that he was due at any moment to resign as England head coach of the women's team. I mean, like I said, he has come under pressure since the World Cup. The results has not gone according. The results have not gone according to plan. They have been a bit disappointing. But you know what? I can assure you that them girls love him. They want to play for him. And maybe they will be the first to admit that their performances as individuals and then as a collective has not been up to the standard required. And that's disappointing for an England fan, male or female. You know, that's really disappointing. But I'm sure Phil Neville's made the right decision, and he's put reasons to it. It's what we don't know, or I don't know personally what the reasons is, but it seems like he's done that to go about it the best way he can, and for the sake of his future. So that's Phil Neville there. What can I say? The sun's out, bright green grass where I am, or the bulk of the grass is. But then again, what I can see on the outside is not everyone's going to want to stay in, regardless if they got a garden or balcony. I'm not here to watch that. I'm here to talk about my football, you know. So Roy Keane has publicly stated that players should not take a pay cut. Well, I think there's a divided opinion on Ozil situation, that he does do a lot for charity. He does give money to charity and to other charitable funding organisations, should I say. And players have got to think about it before deciding to take that pay cut, and which is true. But no player, I'm sorry, but no player should state, I want to find out the financial whatever, I don't know what it was. He wanted to find out what financial state Arsenal are going to be in. Well, Ozil, that's not for him to know. He's just been told. He's been asked by the football club whether he'll be capable of taking, whether he will be happy to take a pay cut or not, and he refused. So that's Mesut Ozil for you, in a nutshell, you know. And he deserved to be blasted. I mean, this is a split opinion here. But anyway, moving on. I'm going to do my Premiership all-time 11, then my all-time substitutes, and then I'll come on to the management, and I'll go on to the referee. This dates back to the last 20 years. So I'm going to go 20 plus years. Yeah, that's it. 20 plus years of the best Premier League players to ever grace the league. And in goal, I mean, I've picked my goalkeeper, but there's been some fantastic goalkeepers. Nigel Martin. There's been David Seaman, who was England's #1. Tim Flowers, highly talented goalkeeper. Deserved his chance as an international goalkeeper himself at the time. So did Nigel Martin, and so did David Seaman. These were 3 England internationals, but there was one that just edges it for me, just above Seaman, in my view. Peter Schmeichel. Yes, it's a rival team, a team that I can't stand. But he, for me, was just a monster. He was a tower, built like a monster. He can almost cover the whole goal. And his presence was there to be seen, there to be felt. And Man United defenders in front of him knew what time it was if they did not perform, and if they were below par. So for me, all in all, Peter Schmeichel. I mean, he won his fair share of Premier League winners' medal, and hugely part of that '99 team that completed the treble. You know, it was. I mean, it can be debated whether Man United were lucky or not, but nah. He played a huge part in Man United's treble success. I mean, they could have lost to Arsenal in that semi-final. Bergkamp had the penalty. If that had gone in, we would never be talking about Schmeichel, or someone not talk about Schmeichel. But for me, he was the best in the world for a number of years. So for me, Peter Schmeichel, he's in goal. Right, the formation is a 4-4-2, by the way. Right back. This is a tough one for me. right backs in the Premier League. You had Lee Dixon, who was part of a strong Arsenal back four. Liverpool didn't have the best of right backs, and I can't think what Liverpool. I can't think who Liverpool had at right back. I mean, Rob Jones was a high talent, but I don't know what happened to him ever since. Well, you had some highly talented right backs. Wow. I'm going to go with Gary Neville. I mean, that might sound controversial, but he was always consistent, and he's the only right back that I can think of that had many wingers in his pocket. And I mean, he had a collective of wingers in his pocket. He and Beckham complemented each other on the right-hand side of the play of the field. For me, he was completely solid defensively when called upon. You can also fill in that right centre half, and he whips in a good cross as well, especially the one against Scotland. His manager Den won't thank me for saying that. Right, that's Gary Neville at right back, and finishing off with Gary Neville, he was always consistent in what he did. So yeah, he gets my slot there. Right, the centre halves now. Wow, it's been great centre halves. There's been some superb, talented centre halves in the Premier League. You know, Bruce and Pallister could have potentially had my pick if they had gone on to do great things. I mean, Jaap Stam is up there. You know what? Some people just don't know the close distances. I mean, the 2 meters distance. Anyway, the less said about that, the better. I'll do this. Jaap Stam. Yeah, he's a monster. In that, he's a unit. I mean, Martin Keown was Mr. Consistent for Arsenal. I'm going to pick another one here. Tony Adams, Mr. Arsenal. Steve Bold. You know, I'm picking the Arsenal players here. Chelsea had Dessay in his late career. What centre-half could I have from Man City other than Vincent Kompany? I'm going by someone who's done it for at least 10 years, and it's going to be John Terry. I'm going to pick 2 Premier League players who've done it in 10 years, sorry. John Terry, Mr. Consistency, Captain JT, a legend in the Premier League, world class, best centre half in the world in his time. No getting past him. All right, he never had pace, but what he did have was the complete defender's brain, a presence about him, and how vocal was he? Every week he was vocal. Every day in training he must have been vocal. He never wants to lose a football match. It was against his religion. So yeah, John Terry for me. I don't care about, well, apart from that racial spat, you can say what you want about him, about his personal life, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm talking about John Terry as a leader, as a centre-half in his own ability. So for me, he gets my choice. My second centre-half, Sol Campbell. He won nothing at Tottenham, but he won a lot more trophies at Arsenal, which is true. Tottenham fans don't want to hear it that way, but that's a fact. But for me, the reason for Sol Campbell is he proved himself in the last 10 years. You know, not only did he have he had to lie to go Arsenal from Tottenham directly. But let's look at what he's done in the last 10 years. He was in Tottenham's defence at the time that he broke into the team, and he was their best centre-half. Best performing centre-half. The man was quick, powerful, strong, great in the air, to the point where he was dominating his strikers up in the air. and he knew where to defend. He knew when to react to danger and when to sniff danger before reacting to it. So yeah, I mean, people want to put Ferdinand in there. I mean, it was a close call, but I'm going John Terry and Sol Campbell. Left back, Dennis Irwin, specialist at free kick in that position. Oh, there's been some left backs there. I mean, you're going back to the 90s here. That's as far as I go when it comes to the last 20 years. Or, in fact, 20 plus years. I'm going to go far as 25 years and beyond. How many left backs have we got here? That's been, well, I mean, Chelsea had Lasso. Arsenal had Ashley Cole and Nigel Winterburn. Again, Winterburn being part of that aggressive, solid and stable back four. Well, Leeds had Dominic Matteo. Well, not for me. I didn't rate him as highly as some of the names that I'm going to come up with. Ashley Cole, hands down. Ashley Cole, hands down, without a doubt. Won trophies at Arsenal and Chelsea in a combined 10, 11, maybe 12 years in the Premier League. Guy was phenomenally quick, defensively switched on. He had a backbone to his game. A winner's mentality he carried from when he broke into the first team with Arsenal as a Premier League's left back. And it was sudden the way he left Arsenal and the way he insulted the club, but take his ability away, you can't. But when we do talk about his ability, what a proper left back he was. He was undoubtedly, if not the best left back in the world, one of the best left backs in the world. You know, at his position. Maybe he was the best left back in the world for a couple of years or so. Again, if you want to get back to me on Ashley Cole, any of the players that I've picked, yeah, feel free to drop your comments below. Drive the thumbs up, like button more than the downs, and yeah, subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that's the main thing. Right, going into the midfield on the right. Wow. On the right, this is a tough one here. I mean, as an Arsenal man, I can't pick anyone on the right. Ray Parlour was not a winger; he was an essential midfield player. Who do we say on the right? I'll tell you what. If you want the whole full package, yeah, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Andrei Kanchelskis. Definitely. He had it all. Energy, stamina, pace, goals, assists. He had it all, Andrei Kanchelskis. What a winger. I think as a footballing professional, much better than David Beckham. For me. Much better than David Beckham. He does not get a mention. And how does he not get a mention? Andrei Kanchelskis for me. Complete right winger. And I just don't know how he doesn't consider getting to the 11. If Beckham gets ahead of him, yeah, then yeah, drop your comments below and tell me why. But for me, Andrei Kanchelskis, midfield, yeah, it's going to be strong. For me, I'm going to go with Patrick Vieira. Proved himself in the league, came from AC Milan. A big fawn, a big integral part of the Invincibles, and he had everything from defensive ability. He could play centre half. He can play centre half, and he can play obviously as a competitive defensive midfield player. He had goals, He can score a screamer. He can dribble. Can run with the ball. I mean, I thought about this choice because you've had Yaya Toure, De Bruyne. All right, De Bruyne is a number 10. Yaya Toure is up there in midfield. Fernandinho. Who else could I have in that midfield? Scholes was phenomenal. Players who graced the midfield in years gone by. I mean, Edu, Gilberto. Wow. I mean, Kante in a short space of time. That's in a short space of time. But for me, Vieira's up there. World class, best in the world at what he did. And the other player I'm going to go for in this position, I'm going to go Steven Gerrard. I rated him ahead of Lampard. He carried a team of average, poor players in his team, in his time of playing career. Took Liverpool in that second half by the scruff of the neck when they were 3-0 down. He's the one who inspired Liverpool in that final for me. I'll argue that till I see my death coming. Steven Gerrard for me was just phenomenal in what he did. I mean, in that cup final of 2006, he had nothing left. And Liverpool were 3-2 down, minutes away, seconds away from losing that cup final. And Gerrard hit an unbelievable blockbuster. Low right-hand corner, Shaka Hislop. No keeper would have saved that. And consistently performing well in the Premier League, week in, week out, in a spell of over 11, 12 years with Liverpool. He literally carried Liverpool, and then he had Torres to help him out. For me, Steven Gerrard, Captain Marvel. That's my man in the midfield. On the left, I mean, I love Bobby Perez. I love Mark Overmars. Who else? We had Samir Nasri as an Arsenal man. I mean, I can think of some wingers that we had. Chelsea had Ian Robin, Damien Duff. These are players that I loved as a football fan, watching them do their thing. But for me, Ryan Giggs will get it. For me, his accolade, speaks for itself. His goals per ratio, his assist per ratio speaks for himself. I mean, the goal got against Arsenal was the greatest ever cup semi-final goal, FA Cup goal I've ever seen in my life. You're down to 10 men, up against the odds, and it all started with Vieira on his team, who I've picked, giving the ball away. And as painful as it was at the time, you've got to applaud it. The ability he showed that night to go past 5 Arsenal players and smash it at the top of the roof of the net, past David Seaman. That was a phenomenal goal. And that sums up what a phenomenal player he was in the Premier League. Ryan Giggs. Right, my strikers. The man who's got 260 league goals, which is beyond ridiculous. Alan Shearer. Goals for Southampton, league goals for Southampton, league goals for Blackburn, where he won his only silverware, and that was a league title. And league goals for Newcastle United, where he won absolute sweet fuck all. But you got to remember, if he had played for Man United, he would have won more than the Premier League title. That's a given. Let's be real. He would have won more than the Premier League title. For me, the guy smashed them goals in for fun. Free kicks, headers, right foot, not many left-footed shots. But if you can remember a left-footed goal he scored, please, again, drop your comment below, yeah? Alan Shearer was one of a kind. The only player that's getting near to him is Harry Kane. I mean, amongst the strikers, Joachim Cole for Man United. You had Robbie Fowler. You had Didier Drogba. Class strikers you had in the league. Aguero. Where can I start? Recent years, Vardy, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. You know, there's going to be some big names of the recent years that don't even get into my bench, let alone my first team. And Alan Shearer gets into my first team. He starts. Alongside him, possibly the greatest footballer ever to grace the Premier League. And his name's Thierry Henry. What a player. What a phenomenal footballer. Oh, the goals he scored in the Premier League, I mean, wow. I mean, the goal against Liverpool where he left Carragher on his backside looking like a fucking idiot. I mean, Carragher again, he clashed with at Anfield where he gave the man 5 yards and beat him by 5. He took the piss out of Carragher at times. Then again, he took the piss out of most Premier League defenders. Let's be real. Got to be careful with my language here and people not getting 2 meters away from me. So, I'm going to say it how it is. Yeah, Thierry Henry, for the last 3-4 years of his Arsenal career, carried Arsenal on his shoulders. I mean, he was the man of the invincible seasons. 30 Premier League goals. What can I say about this guy, Thierry Henry? Je ne sais quoi, va va voom. Hands down, Thierry Henry in my first team. Right, my substitute bench. Wow, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be ideally difficult. My goalkeeper. I've had a little think about it, yeah? But Tim Flowers would get on the bench just ahead of Nigel Martin. And I thought Nigel Martin was a fantastic talent, but Tim Flowers for me, he was a massive part of Blackburn's title-winning team. Made crucial saves when mattered in that season. Saved Blackburn at least 10 plus points. I mean, I'm going to change that and go for Petr Cech. At Chelsea, saved them 15 plus points, including maybe 20 plus points. The amount of clean sheets this guy got, especially in the season where Mourinho managed them in his first full season. Yeah, in Mourinho's first season at Chelsea, he was a massive part of Chelsea's success. You look at the saves, little saves that he had to make because the defence in front of him was phenomenal. It beat Arsenal's league defence of conceding 15 league goals. That's the least goals for a defence to concede in the Premier League era, and won the league. He was just presence in goal. Made some top saves when called upon, but in that season he didn't need to make that amount of top saves. It was in 2004-05. I remember it. I mean, you can accuse them of buying the Premier League title. No, they won the Premier League title fair and square, conceding 15 Premier League goals, more than 20, more up to 30 plus wins, and 1 defeat. All right, but the man was just presence that season and the season after, and he kept a phenomenal amount of clean sheets. So Petr Cech gets my vote from the bench. My substitutes. Defenders. Jaap Stam. He's the only man, the only centre-half in world of football to mark the Brazilian Ronaldo. Fuck CR7, Cristiano, whatever, Ronaldo, who should have gone on to be the best footballer ever lived on this planet, for me. Jaap Stam in that World Cup semi-final convinced Man United to sign him. And you know what? If you're a football fan and you know about football, Man United were right to pay the money for him. Give the money to PSV and have him in their squad, in their team. He was quick, built, a bit muscly, but powerful. And the only centre-half I've seen marking Ronaldo, there was no centre-half in the world that can deal with Ronaldo. No centre-half. And for me, Jaap Stam's on my bench. Not just for that, but he's part in the 1999 treble-winning season. Consistently Man United's best centre-half. Yeah, it's a shame that how he left Man United, because he misbehaved or he spoke out of terms. But that's behind the scenery. But on the pitch, you have to admire him. I mean, it's a difficult choice here. And I'm going to have to go with, I'll tell you what, my second substitution. I mean, Rio Ferdinand and Vidic were immense together. You've had, in the Premier League, you have Bruce and Pallister. You had Bold and Keown. Mark Wright of Liverpool, maybe. Desai, not so great. That was at the business end of his career, Desai. You've got a array of centre halves. This one, this is not a biased one, yeah, but this guy gets it because of what he overcome, yeah, before becoming a consistent performer for Arsenal. Tony Adams, not many people remember, not many people remember that Tony Adams overcame an alcoholic problem where he was drinking consistently before matches. But he was putting in heroic performance week in and week out. For me, Tony Adams has been a credit to the Premier League, and he's a credit to every young person who wants to come into the Premier League, who wants to come into professional football. And for me, what he did to overcome that, where he thought in that year, 91, that he'll never have a future at Arsenal. Well, he went on to become Mr. Arsenal, and rightfully so. Arsenal put a statue of him outside the Emirates, like Henry. So Tony Adams and Jaap Stam, that's my substitutions there for central defenders. I'm trying to find a versatile player. But you know what? I'm going to go with Yaya Toure. Do I go with Yaya Toure? Do I go with Paul Scholes? Frank Lampard? Goals? Michael Carrick? Well, the midfield it is there. Midfield wise, this is tough. I mean, looking at Chelsea's midfield from Mourinho's time, Tottenham's midfield. No, Tottenham never had no midfield. Damn. Not until recent years. You know what, midfield, I'm going to go with Roy Keane. If you want someone who's got the bollocks to say things to people's face without even feeling no way, if you want someone to punch people up, within reason of poor performances, and if you want someone to put in a tackle where it hurts, Roy Keane's your man. Who doesn't give a fuck about being straight up to your face, because he is no two-faced guy. He'll tell it how it is. He's the only midfielder to go out publicly and state 5 Manchester United players were not good enough in a 4-1 defeat to Middlesbrough in the early noughties. He said that publicly, and he stands by what he says. And he's the man, the Irish international, who told Mick McCarthy, you were shit as a manager and you were shit as a player. Roy Keane was your man. But on the pitch, another Captain Marvel, led by example. He told Vieira, if you're going to have a go at Gary Neville, why don't you come have a go at me in the tunnel? Sums him up. I mean, he was the driving force behind Man United's great midfield. And they did have a great midfield. Man played under Brian Clough, and he played under Sir Alex Ferguson. That's the truth. And he had the guts to tell players how it is. And he had the guts to get into their faces and tell them how it is based on constructive criticism on their performances. Roy Keane, take your place on the bench. My next midfielder, I think he's going to be a midfielder who can play. Well, I think Roy Keane can play centre half and defence. The next one for me, yeah. I thought long and hard about this. I'm going to go with Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes, definitely. He was technically gifted. You know, in 98, 2002, maybe up until 2006, he was England's best technical player. Scores goals with left foot, your right foot, headers, can dribble past the man. You know, his tackling wasn't his best point, but he got praising from Zidane, got praising from top world-class players at the time. And Zidane at his peak, if he's praising you for what you are, then you deserve a mention and you deserve the respect of your fellow professionals. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Paul Scholes. Striker, I'm going to go for 2 attacking players. Oh, 2 attacking players. This is going to be difficult. Robbie Fowler. Yeah, goal machine. Left foot, right foot, headers. He's in the right places where it matters, and he's technically a class act. You know? I mean, there's Klinsmann, but he never done it over a period of 10 years. He was at Tottenham for what, between 3 to 4 years, maybe no more than 5 years. I mean, Tottenham fans, football fans, leave those comments below, yeah? There was stupendous amount of magnificent strikers in the Premier League era. Do I go with Didier Drogba? Do I go with Van Nistelrooy? I'll tell you what, Craig Bellamy, I wouldn't mind putting him in there, but he was just a journeyman who was never disciplined. Goal-scoring strikers, as far as they come, Robbie Fowler's in there. And if I can put another one in there, you know what? I'm going to go Sergio Aguero, and that was a difficult one because you've had Drogba, the Premier League seen Drogba, the Premier League seen Jurgen Klinsmann, Harry Kane, you know, he's done it over the last 3-4 years. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is still doing it. Jamie Vardy's done it over recent years. Some would argue that he would deserve to be on my bench because he was part of Leicester's shock Premier League title win in 2016. Let's be real. That's true, because nobody saw it coming, and he was an immense part of that. But I'm going to go with Didier Drogba. Not only as an Arsenal fan that I hate playing against him, but defenders hate playing against him. He'll bully you out until he got the space he wanted, put a goal in, and then he'll just finish you off. And I think that's my 7 substitutions. I mean, I can't believe I actually left out Eden Hazard. You know? I've left out, well, a dark horse, Georgie Kiklansa of Man City. I left him out. Yeah. I mean, David Silva, I've left him out. I've left out, some top players. You know, real top players. Some top class players. I mean, guys, you really need to have this conversation with me and drop it in the comment section below. It is an interesting one for me, man. These are players that were phenomenal in their time. And we have got some fantastic talent in the Premier League now. And love and behold, may they go on to have their successful career in this country while they play in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think that's my 11, my bench sorted out. Manager, I mean, Arsene Wenger came to the country, changed the nutrition. He brought a style of play to Arsenal that wasn't seemed as possible. Won the league at Old Trafford. 2 years later, we become invincibles. But for me, Alex Ferguson. I'm going to go for the man who also broke the. He was the last manager to break the Old Firm derby dominations between Celtic and Rangers. He won that league with Aberdeen. Unfancied Aberdeen. Cup winner with Aberdeen as well. That's what prompted. Those were the reasons why Man United were prompted into employing Alex Ferguson as their manager. And 38 trophies and 26 years later, the man is phenomenal. My word. What can I say about this one-off phenomenal? He went to Lee Sharp's house and got players out who were partying in stupid o'clock in the morning. He was within his right to kick a boot in David Beckham's face, because Beckham deserved it for being ill-disciplined and being a destructive influence in the Man United changing room. The man tactically was a genius. Attacking football was seen around the world. And Man United fans were spoilt for 20 years of domination to English football. They cleaned up Premier League titles. Champions League winners on 2 occasions. Won the FIFA World Club. Won the FIFA World Club Cup. And he was just all sorts. I mean, I thought Wenger was close to touching him. You know, David O'Leary had a spell with Leeds where they were doing all right, but Ferguson, he's up there. He is always going to be up there with Paisley and Shankly. Top world-class managers. I can't speak any highly of them. And there's one for the record. And this is nearly 50 minutes I've been doing this. I'm going to pick my all-time best referee. I mean, I'm going to go for Howard Webb here. I mean, DT picked him out in his in one of his videos. And big up yourself, DT, by the way. That's a shout out to you, yeah? You and your 3 sons. Shout out to you. Oh, one of them being Kieran. Shout out to you, Kieran, yeah? Keep doing your thing, whatever you're doing. Yeah. So that's my shout out to DT's son and sons and himself. What's it? Harold Webb, Mr. No Nonsense. I mean, he wasn't a Man United fan. He did his job effectively, the best way that he could, without VAR, and he was the one who tried, really, with a lot of effort, and it showed that he took pride in his job, because he always tried to call it in the middle. So Harold Webb gets my vote. It weren't going to be Mike Dean, and it definitely weren't going to be Phil Dowd. Oh gosh, them referees, they fucked me off beyond belief. So yeah, Phil Dowd. And that's the conclusion of my Premier League all-time 11, my substitutes, my Premier League referee and manager. So guys, if you can pick a better one than me, then go ahead. Let's talk. So I'm going to end it here because it's nearly 50 minutes. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whether you're outside in the parks doing the legal things or the right things where you don't get arrested, or you're inside your house, whatever you're doing, yeah, do enjoy yourself. Stay safe, protect the NHS, yeah? And I'm going to say this, yeah? If you get arrested by the police, you should not be treated by the NHS staff, because they've got enough bodies to deal with as it is, including themselves. So, any idiots who want to break the guidelines, yeah, do it at your own peril. In my personal opinion, yeah, if you get struck by the coronavirus or you get arrested, why should you be treated by the NHS staff? For the simple reason I've just stated. Right, other than that, yeah, enjoy your day. Hope you enjoyed my Premier League all-time 11 and the things that I've spoken about, yeah. So this is your guy DLG Reppin, yeah. Peace, bless and love. I'm done.